Hello friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you the Floating and Fluttering bundle that's in the January through June 2021 mini catalog by Stampin' Up! And it comes with the Floating and Fluttering stamp set and the Fluttering dies. Now this is a really cool die set, so I just want to kind of show you a few fun things you can do with the die set and the stamps. Now when you look at this card here, you see these beautiful die cut butterflies here with some leaves as well. Now, but one thing I found really cute on this card is I wanted a background here behind my butterflies, and I looked at all my embossing folders and I forgot about this Stampin' Cut and embossing folder, the Meadow Moments, and it has these leaves in it, and also this one with leaves and flowers and butterflies scattered throughout. So that became the beautiful background to show off my butterflies. Now I have another little trick here and how this card came about. Somehow I had a bunch of these Coastal Cabana leftover rectangles. So I must have done a project and then had a bunch of these that I cut out from the front of it. So that was my guideline for making this. So I will put the measurements for that panel in the directions. Underneath the YouTube video, you'll find all the products, all of the colors, and any other things that I had in that description. But also at the end of the description, it says visit my blog here. Press that link, it'll take you over to CindyLeeBDesigns.com, and you'll see all that information and additional photos as well. So that beautiful butterfly embossing folder in the Meadow Moments was kind of the jump start to this card here. All right, so now I guess I want to show you some of the fun things here. Okay, I did use my Stamparatus when I did this because I made a bunch. I just stuck my stamp on my Stamparatus, popped a piece of white in here, and stamped it. Now, you could have stamped this without your Stamparatus, but one of the great reasons I love my Stamparatus, not only for positioning things and but when you want a deep, dark, black image, even when you're using a really good black ink, you can do it twice. And I love that I could get a really deep, dark one. So I used my Stamparatus and I did a bunch of these stamped together at one time. Now you'll notice in this die set, there are two big dies that cut all of these butterflies off at the same time. So what you would do is, let's just pull this out of here. I don't have them on my magnetic things yet. So you've got this great die that's going to cut out all of your butterflies, okay? So you literally just, here, I had all those made the same way, and then you just plop it in there, and you can cut out all the butterflies at one time. Now, what could be greater than having a die that cuts out all the butterflies at the same time? Well, having a die, two dies that do that. So you literally can be doing two sets of those butterflies at one time. But you can also die cut the individual butterflies and the individual leaves with individual dies. Now I did notice when I cut out this individual butterfly, I may have actually pulled it over a little bit too much, but you can die cut each one of these out separately as well. And we'll find out how this really works into our story here as I show you another card. So just looking at this is a simple card, but I just wanted to show you that you could, here we go. What I did here is I have some individual ones cut and I have this big panel cut. Now the nice thing about this one is, well, let me get out here. You can actually double time stamp here on here. So let's just grab our Magenta Madness here. That's one of my newer pads, so it's a little tight. So we're gonna ink up these butterflies on the big butterfly and put it right. I like to aim that I can see some black on this particular stamp. Hopefully, I'm looking at it at a strange angle, but see, you can fill in all of your butterflies. You can fill in each one of these butterflies. You can fill in this leaf. Now let me just close this here so I can get this out of my way. There we go. So you can stamp each one of these images using your ink pad, but you can also easily use your blends. So you could come in here and easily do your blends. And of course, when you do that, you can actually make your butterflies have two different colors on them, or you could darken, you know, like have this all Bermuda Bay and then come back over later. And you could shade this in here and make it a lot darker. So it's really fun that you can quickly stamp the color in, or you can quickly color it in with your Stampin' blends. You could also use your blender pens as well with your ink pad and do that. So a lot of different ways you can color those flowers in, those butterflies in. So looking on this card though, I wanted to show you that if you die cut this all out at one time, you're then going to, I found it super easy to come back, and then I just kind of go, try to be neat, and then trim out each image here. And you can come back and get it a little bit neater after you do the initial cut as well. But it's super easy to cut these apart. And there we go. And just cut this, just give a little squiggle when you're cutting there. And then I'm gonna wanna do that. And then I can come back and clean these images all up. So I've got my butterfly, and then I just kind of trim up wherever it looks a little bit like it, where it was cut apart. Okay, butterfly number 1. And what I'm looking for here, that's butterfly number 2. It's all quiet. I always find it interesting when we're having class and when everybody's coloring, how it gets so quiet. Or when we're doing something like cutting, it gets so quiet. So this little butterfly looks pretty good. Maybe just a little scraggle there. And just get that trimmed there. Butterfly number 3. Now this is an extra one that I cut off from another one, because I'm going to put that onto the inside of our card. And our leaves. I actually, on my card, did not use these smaller leaves, but you know I'll save that for something. So I just trimmed down this one a little bit. And it might seem kind of like, well, why didn't you just like, you know, die cut them using the other die? But this is really super easy to do. Die cut them all at one time and then just cut them apart. So there we go. We have our butterflies now. Okay, so the next thing I did on this card is I'm going to get my Stampin' seal and put this, time to cooperate, time to wake up here, Stampin' seal. Little straggler there. Okie doke. And we're gonna, like I said, I'll have the measurement for this because this is a little bit off because they were already pre-cut for me. And then we just put that Coastal Cabana embossed panel on the black. And then we're gonna put that straight on the front of our yellow Daffodil Delight. I don't know what I did to this. I'm just gonna come back here. No use in fussing around there. So we'll put that centered in the front of our Daffodil Delight card base. And look how that black just pops that off. Now I'll cut a little bit of stray here. Okay, so we've got our panel on there. And then what I did on the front of this card is I pulled out this was one of my favorite sets we had out of the last catalog. So this band together, and it has great sentiments here and great insides that go with all the words. So what I did is I am going to stamp, I used Beautiful Inside and Out here, but this one I'm gonna do You Are Amazing. So it's kind of a generic card that you can put any sentiment on the inside. So let's get our piece of white here. And we're going to do, I like the magenta on there. It's just so pretty. So what we're going to do is get that inked up. Looks like we got it nicely done there. And I'm going ahead and I'm stamping it first because then I can see where I'm punching. Okay, so I did the sentiment first because I pulled out another stamp set I had that had this great story label die in there, and that's the Heart to Heart that's still current in our annual catalog. And I used this to create this great black border on it. And the reason why I wanted to pull some black out of there, I usually, if I'm going to put a focal point with the sentiment, I either like to border it with another color so it stands out. It's just one of my preferences. And this one, since I was just going to be white, I still wanted something to make this sentiment stand out. So I just can easily do this one since it's photopolymer. Yay for being able to see through that. So then I've got a nice border around that. And then I just come back with our story label punch. And then we can just pop that into the punch. Oh, it looks like I got a little smear on my, well, you know, I'm the little tiny smear there, but I'll fix that after the card is done. So in the photos, you'll see how I creatively came up with a way to fix my boo-boo. Okay, so this was going to be our focal point there, and we're going to use dimensionals to pop it up. And those dimensionals were right in front of me a second ago. Well, we'll just take a quick couple steps over here and get some dimensionals. Like I said, I know. Oh, here they are. I stuck them right underneath my desk so I can get to them. So let's put some dimensionals here. Now I'm going to put this sentiment with dimensionals first, so then I can know that I have it perfectly on the inside. I'm going to move this one over a little bit because I know I'm going to be putting these leaves are going to pop out from that side. So I'm going to try to remember not to put dimensionals. How many times do you put dimensionals on your sentiment and then realize, oh, I can't shove anything under there? Okay, so let's just get this centered in. There we go. We've got that centered there, and now we can just pop our butterflies in there. Put some dimensionals on this big magenta one. I love Melon Mambo, and I just thought, why do we need this magenta? And then when you put them right beside each other, they are totally different. You've got a totally, now this one, I'm gonna put the dimensional up towards the top because I'm gonna have him perched kind of right on the top of that label. And I didn't want to put a dimensional. I could put one, now that I know where it's at, I could put it right under there now. And then our beautiful daffodil one. Oh, so back to what we're saying. Now though, I definitely have a place for magenta in my heart and Melon Mambo. Two really pretty, like hot pink colors. So we've got our cute little thing, and then we're just gonna we're gonna slip in some leaves. Yes, I have learned putting my silicone mat under there so that if I get the adhesive, I'm not getting it all over my work surface. Okay, and then we're just gonna pop in some leaves here, and then another set. There we go. So we have a pretty little front there with the detail of the embossed folder and our butterflies. And then on the inside, I stamped, "We are so grateful we are friends." And notice this is definitely a card that you can make, and then you can just pop in a butterfly there, and so grateful we are friends there. Okay, so I'm gonna finish that in a little bit here. So I'm gonna put that up there. close my ink pad and show you some other fun things with this die set. Now, as I showed you before, you have all of these butterflies. Now, this isn't a butterfly here that die cuts and impresses an embossed design inside the butterfly. So that does this really beautiful embossed butterfly. Now, this die is bigger and it fits in here. So if you die cut just a black one, you can actually then mount that onto your card. So you would just actually, I know my seal's going to try to be careful here. I'm just going to show you how this fits beautifully outlined on there. And look how, just a whole different effect to the card. Now I'm going to show you, before I do that, oh, I wanted to, so many things, so many exciting things. Okay, remember I showed you this panel all die cut colored and then die cut at one time. I wanted to show you how I actually made a card using that too. I used the same embossing folder. I did the same color here. I didn't have the contrast, but I liked using the Coastal Cabana for the card base and the panel. And then all I'm going to do here is I used a little note, and a little note comes from our other butterfly stamp set that is from our other annual catalog last year. And where did I put that? Oh, here it is. I'll show you, just so you're trying. You know, we have a lot of butterfly, but they're all so different. So this is the Butterfly Gala, and it has a great font in the sentiments. So what I did for this one is I just used the new double oval punch. And the double oval punch, you can die cut the oval for the sentiment and the border with that double oval punch. Now that one is in our new, I'm gonna stick one more dimension on here. That's in the mini catalog. So let's just get all our dimensionals off here. I just wanted to show you how you can create a really pretty focal image on a card, just not even cutting them apart. So let's put some dimensionals also on our sentiment. We're just popping everything up, as we always put those. Here we go. Now you can either put this off to the side for a little bit of, or you can put it right onto the panel. I don't know which I want to do. We're going to just put this across the card here. Just floating and fluttering by there. And then, I don't know if I want that off. I kind of do think I like it going off a little bit there. Just a little note, and then I just popped a little yellow butterfly with the Daffodil Delight stamped, and You've Been on My Mind. And now you can see that you can make, oh, we're gonna play with him in a second. You can see you can either keep all the butterflies together, or you can trim them down and put them on a card. So we've got these two fun cards. Now we're gonna take a look at this embossed butterfly. Now what I did with that is I just mounted all my butterflies onto a black base. So then I just will put this. Now, you know, in real life, I would have cut out a couple of these happy birthdays out of here. I would never waste that black underneath there. Just like I didn't waste this, I cut these all out before I use those on a paneled card. So then we're just going to mount this. I added in another color on this card, and I did Mango Melody, and I did it in a landscape. So my cardstock was cut. Whoa, I just went crooked there. I went landscape, so that meant I had now of course it'd be portrait this way, but landscape this way. So if people are throwing around those terms when you're watching videos, this is landscape, this is portrait. Just think of it, a portrait's like a picture, and the landscape is like looking out on the horizon. So you would start with an 8.5 by 5.5, score at 4 1/4, and this one can go either way. Okay, so let's put this on here straight. I think what's not straight is my Coastal Cabana here. Let's see if I can pull this up a second. I think it's a little crooked on here. There we go. Okay, so we've got Mango Melody. Let me hold this up over here. This is not straight, kids. I do not have that centered. I should be using my grid, but like I said, this is a little bit an odd size here, not perfectly. Okay, now we have that on there. So then I just took this Happy Birthday, and this came from the Hey Birthday Chick. Oh, I love this. I love having this die because you just pop that out and you've got your sentiment done. Okay, I'll just put a little glue on here. And then we'll pop that onto the card. This is like no stamping here. Okay, I'm going to grab a little piece of scratch here that I have and just get that there. And we're going to put that down so that black really pops off of that Coastal Cabana. And I'm probably going to put another black one on top of that just to get some more dimension there. Then let's pop on these butterflies. Look how pretty. The magenta. I just love the colors on this card here. And these ones, they can go a little bit off the border since they have that black around them. It really looks cool. So you've got a really pretty card using the Mango Melody and Daffodil Delight and Magenta Madness on the Coastal Cabana. So you've got a quick one there. And in the inside, you could put, you know, another butterfly here. So I'll have these finished off with pictures for you. But you could throw another butterfly on the inside there. Okay, so I'm going to move this off here. Okay, I am not done yet. So what we've done is we've cut them apart. We've kept them together. We've die cut the black and then put the embossed butterfly in there. But I want to show you another thing I did. Now this is another one. And I used the well-written die framelit. They used to be called framelits, and it says on here, but these are the well-written dies. Has all those words like happy birthday, baby, welcome, so many best wishes. So I picked the happy to put on here. And what I did here is I went, now actually I made two different versions. Excuse me, two different versions. This one was on a portrait style, and I just die cut the actual butterfly here. So I took this embossed butterfly, I laid it on my Coastal Cabana panel, and I cut these out. Now, as you can see, when you see when I'm done here, I had a lot of these left over. Tune into my Friday post, and you'll see what I did with all of these Coastal Cabana butterflies. So you die cut those, then you just pop them into the embossing folder. Just run them through your die cutting machine with your embossing folder, and then we're just going to put that onto the black panel. Okay, so we're going to put it onto the black panel, getting it as straight as I can get it there. Okay, then we're going to put that black panel onto the Magenta Madness card base. The white inside there. So we're going to pop that right in the middle of our Magenta Madness. Now the cool thing about this is we're not going to border anything, because when we pop these up, they're going to have like a neat effect of seeing a little bit of the black underneath. So I'm going to put my dimensional directly on here, and I'm going to put the two flat ends right in the middle of the black. Right there. Wasn't it convenient that those fit right in there? Okay, I put my dimensionals on there. And then I'm going to pop my butterflies right like they would be going into that. Now see how you can get that, see that little bit of effect of the, now let's put this one here. And when you're looking at the actual card, you can see the black peeking through. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the happy birthday on here. Well, the happy, and then you know where the birthday is going on the inside. That's another fun way to do that. Get a little bit of glue on my happy. Boy, these well-written dies have come. They have been one of my well-used. So that fits on there, and that just pops right off of the card, just like that happy birthday did. So you've got happy there. Oh, and I almost forgot. Oh, darn. You'll notice it in the pictures because I just got back from my trip to Pittsburgh, cold and frigid Pittsburgh, and my black matte dots are packed in a box from when I came back, and I haven't got to that yet. So please forgive me on that. But I'm gonna put the little black dots, matte dots. So you're gonna have to go over to cindyleebdesigns.com to see this finished card. Now, as I said, I did this one, and this one also is gonna have some black dots in there. Now, I also did, you'll see this one also on, oh, and what I did on the inside of this one is I'm going to end up putting happy birthday, and then I'm going to have another butterfly over here. So I'm bringing, but this butterfly will be one of these embossed butterflies. Okay, so I got a lot of work after this video is done, huh? And this one I did vertically. Now, when you're vertically, you don't have as much room on your panel. So I picked love to put at the bottom. And then, of course, on the inside, I'm going to put you on the inside with a butterfly. So that will go in there. So, my gosh, you can do a lot. And like I said, one of the favorite cards I made with this set, I'm going to post on Friday. So make sure you look back. And you've got these fun butterflies that are embossed, and then you've got your stamped ones, and you can keep those butterflies together or you can cut them. And these dies are really great because you can get multiple butterflies by die cutting twice, but you can also cut out the individual images in the combined image there. And then this embossed butterfly is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so you've got all of those. And, oh, great. You may have overlooked this Meadow Moments embossing folders. And they are thinner, they're more narrow than our other embossing folders, but it is a perfect embossing folder with butterflies on that. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So, you know, take another look at these smaller, these more narrow ones. Really pretty. So take a look at your Floating and Fluttering stamp set. You can just double time stamp all of these solid images into your lined images. So thanks for buzzing by, friends. If you have any questions, please know that you can contact me at 724-323-2296. You can leave me a text. You can give me a call if you have a question. You can also email me at cindyleeb@gmail.com. Again, thanks for buzzing by.